Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, as you can see, I'm bringing back my Disney movie marathon. I mean, okay, it wasn't exactly not that long ago, really. I just figured I'd just do this, of course, just take a little break and then come back to this, of course. Because why the hell not, I guess. So I'll talk about Disney movies, the merchandising, the things, I don't know, whatever the case may be. So I want to make this pretty much straight to the point, really. Yeah, it's a subject matter when it comes to Elsa. I wanted to do a version of this topic for quite some time already, so I just thought I'll just get to it. And it's the one where she's apparently is swinging a certain way. That in itself isn't the problem. We're for just to be perfectly clear. Um, and this was originally going to be about how I felt maybe she should remain single, regardless of her sexual orientation, because it kind of plays into the whole idea that I like the fact that she doesn't have a romantic relationship because I know these types of movies, the princess, I know she's technically a queen, but these princess type movies that tend to just have a romantic love interest in some shape or form. And I do like the fact that she's one of the few characters in these movies where she doesn't have a love interest, so that does help out to stand out. But I was going to do a video discussing that specifically, but I just thought I'd just talk about something else for the time being. Because I'll always save the thing I just mentioned for like a separate video. Anyway, moreover is that if they Disney really want to go make and just make a third and even a possible fourth film, which by rumors they probably will, according to some sources, they are going to make a third and fourth film simultaneously. That might not be the wisest of choice to do because you put too much to do on your hands. So again, that in itself could be like a separate video too. But moreover, what I'm trying to say is that I really don't like. It's the fact that hopefully, if they actually go through with this, actually have will be a lesbian, which I'm hoping for. They don't want to go on this the most stereotypical idea here. Yes, unfortunately, lesbians do have a those stereotypes, which yes, I briefly mentioned in this channel here and there, like a, a bit vaguely, I guess. Which is kind of why I'm doing this, just to expand upon the idea that I mentioned this vaguely before. And I guess let's just get into it, I guess. So, one of the most obvious things is that lesbians hate men because they find men to be the most disgusting thing. Oh no, ew, a penis, disgusting, ill, icky, and all that. Just not just that, but just an auto hatred towards men because men are men. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are women out there who do hate men. I just want to be with women. I'm not denying that those do exist because they do. But you can't just allow those bad eggs just to. When I say eggs, I don't mean that as a pun, by the way, because get it, she's a woman. But you can't. Uh, just in this irrational fear towards men just for being men, which of course is ridiculous. And yes, I'm linked to the fact that one of the most common misconceptions is that all lesbians, all these angry, pissed off feminists are getting tired of this hierarchy, this patriarchy, or whatever you want to call it. Bring down men and women should be in charge, yada yada yada. Well, we almost had a female president with Hillary Clinton, who was criticized for being a feminist. That in itself doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing if she were a feminist. That's besides the point. Because a lot of people have accused her for hating men too, which of course is not the case. And some people have stated that she secretly is a lesbian. I don't know since when, but okay. And that's another thing. That kind of goes into what I'm saying anyway, because a lot of people have these conspiracy theories where these women are going to be going to somehow upstage men somehow. I don't get it. And yes, there are lesbians out there that do have lots of friends who are guys, or at least identified guys anyway. So what? You kind of do this kind of thing, and of course, another speaking of stereotypes. Okay, this is more of a broader term when it comes to stereotypes because it goes to women regardless of the sexual orientation. Women love to gossip. Women want to spread just talk about nonsense that been really spreading gospel, stuff that don't make no sense. Just talk it doesn't do that kind of thing, which of course is nonsense. That's a gender stereotype really. And another stereotype is that again, this is more of a generalization than a specific sexual occasion. Is that women can't stand other women. Women hate other women, so they're gonna go be a bunch of backstabbers towards other women and just do that kind of thing. What I'm trying to refer to is that make sure that this comes off genuine and not overly rely on stereotypes and that kind of thing. And of course, there's an audience. A lot of the audiences, World of Forest, will claim that she is that way. I mean, they're already claiming that. I mean, there's already a few stereotypes that was going on with, okay, assumed stereotypes, as you say, that Elsa's doing apparently. Yeah, that's the whole catty thing and just can't grow a special bond. That's more of a women's stereotypes than just lesbians, really. It can go for anyone, even though bi or straight. But anyway, people are already assuming things about this character to begin with, so that's not really nothing new. Another thing is that somehow being gay, I guess in this case lesbian, is a lot more easier than being straight because you're dating someone who is of the same gender as you are. Which maybe to some extent might be true, but at the same time it isn't. It depends on who you're referring to, I guess. You can't just generalize women, you can't just generalize guys. I mean, yes, I heard a lot of complaints from men that women are nearly impossible to understand and figure out. And like, why am I getting mad at? Why am I getting yelled at? Yada yada yada. And yes, of course, there's the whole bit where women can be more emotional. Of course, it's not that men can't. Of course, obviously, that's not the point. Just women are built differently, and so all men built differently, and that in itself does not have to be a bad thing, of course. But a lot of people just believe that it could be easier, or maybe it could. It still would be rather complicated because you are your own individual, of course. And another thing I want to say real quick is that though, okay, which one's going to be the man of the relationship? I mean, which one's going to be the woman of the relationship? When it comes to lesbian relationships, one's going to have to be butch, and the other has to be really feminine, dainty, or whatever. Okay, which one will be the man? And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Does it really matter who's gonna be doing what to who? As long as they care for each other, it really does not matter. Uh, both can be masculine, both can be feminine, or a combination of the two. It just depends on the personality. It more depends on the personality. Just like with straight people, it depends on this personality. Of course, of course, bi people, of course, obviously. But again, just getting to the point here. And of course, lesbians are not gonna just go around trying to fill out a specific checkbox. This, and this. That's not what's going on here, obviously. Anyway, another thing is that lesbians are just confused. They don't know what they're doing, and they just want to pick other women because they don't understand their own bodies. They don't understand society. They don't understand anything. Which of course doesn't make any sense because that's not what's going on here, like at all. Another thing is that I know, I'm kind of just brushing over these quite quickly because I just want to make this video real quick. It's just saying certain things. I just hope that Disney does it correctly and does not mess it up. Is what I'm trying to say here. And apparently, allegedly, and of course, keyword allegedly, all lesbians in existence have daddy issues. Oh yes, there are lesbians out there who has daddy issues. That in itself is not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to say is that it's just an assumption that they all do, which of course is a lie. While some would, of course, obviously will do it, but that doesn't mean all will, obviously. That doesn't mean every single one is going to have that kind of thing that's going on. Just throwing it out there, folks, obviously. Also, just to be clear as well, I know major misconception is that maybe she was beaten as a kid, maybe she was spanked too many times or whatever, and maybe she had her teeth kicked in too many times or whatever, some sort of like dark, morbid trauma she might have experienced as a child. No, that's not what led her to be a lesbian. She was always like that. I'm not saying to Elsa, just women in general who are like that kind of way. That doesn't mean whatever tragedy, whatever horrific thing that might have happened when said individual was a child, that doesn't mean she's like that because of for that reason. That doesn't make any sense. It has her sexual orientation has zilch anything to do with that. Yeah, I'm bringing this up because of the fact that we all know what tragic thing happened to Elsa and Anna when they were young. They lost their parents, of course, and then in the sequel, they had to explore into that a bit more. And then the fact that Elsa had accidentally struck Anna with her ice powers, like this kind of stuff is not going to it's not going to lead to Elsa being a certain way. That doesn't make any sense. Like no, there's like no logic behind that whatsoever, like, at all. That seems odd that the people out there would just assume that, really. Anyway, so here we go. I guess the thing is that it's just ridiculous. Very ridiculous. Anyway, so another thing is that, oh, just because someone is a lesbian, then said woman would have never had a meaningful relationship or been in love with a man. But the women who find other women attractive, they don't find men attractive. That doesn't mean that's not going to stop them from having a meaningful relationship. Why do they have to go through a man to realize that they don't like men? That might be true for some women, of course, who are bisexual lesbian. Maybe it turns out I'm not into this, whatever that may be. Maybe they just want to see how things are, of course. Maybe they tried something and just didn't like it. That's one thing, sure. But that's not quite the same thing as that, oh, you just don't like men. You have to be with men first. Oh, and see how things go. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm trying to say. Maybe some of them did try and just it just didn't happen. It's just that it's not, oh, they suddenly stop sleeping with men and just don't find them attractive anymore. That's not the case. They just don't date men. Generally speaking, they just don't want to date men. It's not one of those, oh, just to experiment. No, it's not that. That's not how that works, like at all whatsoever. And they can have a meaning relationship, like I was saying. Let me just wrap it up here because I know I could go on and on with this forever. Anyway, so the thing is that it just seems like really odd that people would just assume this kind of thing, and how women would just try to seduce straight women to be like how they are. Doesn't know stereotype. You're just gonna only go after straight women just to seduce them. That's not how that works either. Not like at all. And another thing is that, oh, if you're a lesbian, you're fast and easy. If you know what I mean. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, women can be really sexually active if they want. I'm not saying that they can't, and they sure are capable of doing it. But that's not because they're lesbian. Lesbians are not going to be fast and easy, if you know what I mean. People just want to shame them just for acting a certain way. That doesn't, and like it's not anybody's business anyway. Is what I'm getting at. Another one is that women who only like women, especially like bisexual chicks, bisexual women. I mean, that doesn't make any sense either. They were like somehow bisexual women are like their top favorites. Like that, how does that include that? I don't get. That's like another thing I don't get. Of course, and and of course we include. And if said woman is already in a committed relationship, they might include a bisexual woman just to have a threesome for a few times here and there. This kind of thing is going to vary from person to person. I'm not going to be against anyone doing this. It's not exactly cheating if everybody's okay with it. So that could be true depending on who you're referring to. Again, you have to be specific. Don't speak in general terms. Like I keep saying over and over and over again, you just can't be speaking in general terms. And I just hope Disney does not fall into just like these stereotypical things, is what I'm saying. So anyway, I'm not just kind of referring to also the misconception that people keep thinking about these people as well. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you.